Now, staying with the marginals, the Tasmanian seat of Bass has had new members elected in 7 of the last 8 elections, one of those true bellwethers. Reporter Richard Baines joins us now from Launceston. Richard, good morning. The signs are out. Tell us why Bass is so closely watched on election night.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. It'll be a very interesting seat to watch. It's held by Liberal Andrew Nikolic by a margin of 4%, but most interestingly, at the last two-party preferred poll, Labor's Ross Hart was neck and neck 50-50 with Andrew Nikolic. So it's predicted that this one is really going to go down to the wire. The focus of all the campaigning here has been on jobs. Quite a high proportion of people in this electorate earn under $40,000 a year, so the focus has really been on sort of that jobs area, and there's been announcements around university funding to relocate campuses and things like that. But as I say, 50-50 was the last two-party preferred poll, and as I think you touched on before, it is a revolving door electorate. It's changed hands at 6 of the last 8 elections. We don't have long to wait and see what's going to happen here later today.
And not too far away, Richard, lots of interest as well in the government-held seat of Lyons. How is that shaping up today?
Lyons is going to be particularly interesting. It's Tasmania's biggest electorate and also the most marginal, held by Eric Hutchinson, the Liberal, there by just 1.2%. And the latest polling there indicates that Labor's Brian Mitchell is actually leading 55-45 two-party preferred. So on paper, that could be a seat that will be of great interest. There, Eric Hutchinson won that seat with an enormous swing of 13.5% back in 2013. There's a lot less needed for that to go back to Labor today. OK, finally, let's look at the upper house, and lots of interest tonight in whether Jackie Lambie, a sitting independent senator, not only holds her seat but possibly gets 1 or 2 other candidates into the Senate as well. Richard, how's that looking? Yeah, it's going to be very interesting as well. Jackie Lambie is going to be coming here to vote shortly, actually, and you sort of notice, the government's real focus on urging people not to vote for the Nick Xenophons and the Jackie Lambies of the world, and that's perhaps an indication of, the power of independents and micro-parties in the current political landscape. But it's actually Jackie Lambie's number 2 candidate, a man called Steve Martin. He was the former mayor of Devonport, that could cause a real headache for the Liberals here. Tasmania's only minister, Richard Colbeck, is 5th on the ticket, and there's sort of a scenario that could take place where Steve Martin, depending on how many votes the Jackie Lambie network pulls, could put him in some trouble. So that's going to be another very, very interesting one to watch.
Indeed, and Jackie Lambie, a special guest on Breakfast a bit later in the morning as well. Richard Baines, thank you for the wrap-up there from the Apple Isle.